The reason, so the reason that I don't want to be sensationalist is because too many people are sensational. And it isn't real. When everything you do is big and brash and crazy, then when you come across something that really is very strange or extraordinary, you're already here. There's no, but if you're normally here and then you find something extraordinary, you have room. You can say, wow, that's really crazy. That's interesting. That's unusual. And so I try to keep things at their normal, their proper level. So,
Me gusta. I like how you do it.
Yeah.
Because you are respectful.
I'm also not political. And so I'm not a Democrat or Republican or a communist or laissez-faire capitalist,
Who do you want to win the presidential?
I'm not political.
You don't care?
I do care. Like me personally, I care. But I don't want that to be part of my reporting. And quite frankly, I don't think that any of the sides right now politically are doing a good job. I think the United States is a manifest failure in many ways, and it doesn't have to be that way. We could be better than we are.
Always, you can always be better.
Right. And so my goal in doing this reporting is to find ways to try to help people understand what's really happening so they can make better decisions when they vote, maybe better decisions when it comes to some of the issues that I report on. I started my channel reporting primarily on migration and the border, the US-Mexico border. And now I'm here in southern Mexico reporting on migration here because so much of what happens here affects, obviously, what happens in the north.
Do you think this is the city in the whole world that gets more migrants?
I think, yes. I think maybe so. This is...
It's sure at the top 5.
Certainly.
In the whole world.
I'm just thinking almost all of the migrants from South and Central America come through Tapachula, right?
They need to, they have to.
Okay.
It's mandatory.
In that case, Tapachula may be the busiest crossing point in the world.
Yeah,
The busiest border crossing in general is the US-Mexico border. It's certainly considered the deadliest. More people die crossing into the United States from Mexico because of the desert, because of violence, than anywhere else in the world.
Animals eat them when they are crossing the forest. Animals eat them when they are crossing the forest.
Maybe snakes will bite them in the desert.
Crocodiles eat them. And
I see.
Snakes.
I see. On the Rio Grande, yes.
It happens.
Okay. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
I've seen videos.
But that doesn't stop people from continuing to come.
Of course not. It will never be like that.
The dream
is bigger than the fear.
Yeah. Do you think that the American dream will survive into the future? Or are there cracks? Are there people less willing to believe now than in the past?
The American dream is to have a good life, a successful life. Mm-hmm. They want to experience what it is to be respected, what it is to earn good money.
Tell me about the respect. That's interesting.
Because you come to Mexico and you get respect from me, from anybody, they will respect you just because you are an American.
I see.
Just because that. But if I see a Guatemalan guy, a Venezuelan girl, it's not the same for them.
There's less respect.
Of course, people don't even talk to them.
And so they think the Guatemalan man or the Venezuelan woman thinks that they will get more respect if they go to the United States?
Well, if they make money, sure.
I see. It's a way of increasing their place in life.
Of course.
I see. In ways that are not possible in their country.
Why would you stay in a place that doesn't give you any comfort?
Dirt
That you are
floors,
suffering every day?
no electricity.
Exactly. Why would you stay there? You want a better life.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Going to America. I don't know why America, because there are a lot of countries they can go to, but I always choose America because I don't know what is going on in America. They used to protect them a lot and give them free money and things like that. That boom, the situation of migrants to wanted to go to the United States.
I see. I see. So,
Because not any other country supports them that much. And if they have a child, I think in the whole world, I'm not sure, the United States, if you have a baby in the United States, he's American.
yes, it's called
Just by being born there.
it's called birthright
That
citizenship.
doesn't happen in Mexico, not Japan, not China, not France.
Right. Okay. And
Only in
so,
the United States. So everybody wants to go to have a baby.
yes.
So the baby will invite them to be Americans.
I see. Okay. Oh, interesting.
Some members of my family have done that.
Okay.
Go to have birth in America.
Yes.
So the children are Americans.
Okay. Is that common here in Mexico?
Extremely common.
Okay. So they get a tourist visa while
Yeah,
they're
they
pregnant?
go on vacation.
I see.
They say, what is your... I am going on vacation. They go to have birth. Because,
Okay.
2 months pregnant,
Yeah.
nobody will see.
I see.
3 months, 4 months, nobody will see.
I see. Okay. Ah. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. So,
But the law of America, it's inviting people to live there. Because there are some benefits that the law gives to migrants.
right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Now, do you think that if the US laws were more harsh, less inviting, that you would see more people wanting to stay in their
Of course,
countries?
yeah, for sure.
I see. Okay.
Because if you go to America and you have birth, and your son is not an American, what do you do?
Yeah.
And the government doesn't give you money to feed him, what
Yeah.
do you do?
I see.
And people that live there doesn't give you a job,
Yeah.
doesn't offer you a job.
Yeah.
But what is happening is completely the opposite.
Yeah.
People take advantage of migrants, they pay a little bit of money, so they take advantage of that.
Wow.
And the law protects them, and the government gives them money,
Yeah.
so they are having a better
Yeah.
life over there, just going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next day they are having better life.
Yeah, okay. So I know that in the United States, there's something like 40 or 42 million people on food aid. There's about 80 to 90 million people who have subsidized health care through a program called Medicaid. These are essentially health care for poor people. And so the US has a safety net, a social safety net that ensures that people are not desperately poor. They can at least have food, shelter, medical care at a basic level.
You know what migrants have told me? That if you go to New York, you get free hospitals. So people that have cancer go to New York to get cured
Really?
for free.
Wow.
That's what I have heard.
Okay.
I don't know if it's real. You can tell me.
Interesting.
You tell me.
I don't know.
You don't know?
That would be something
That's what
interesting
I heard,
to look into.
That hospitals are free for migrants. And they have to take care of you if you have cancer or anything.
In the United States, if you go to the hospital and you have something wrong with you, especially something requiring immediate aid, you will get treated whether or not you pay. So, yes, I guess that means free on some level. Now, I don't know if they can get free cancer care, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They
if-
told me that New York is
Yeah.
a sanctuary city.
Oh, yes, okay, yes.
That's the thing.
I see. And
So that's why they get free hospitals.
So sanctuary cities generally mean that
They are open to migrants.
open to migrants and they don't help the United States government to deport people.
Exactly. They protect
Right.
them. They protect
Right.
them to stay there.
Yes, okay, yes.
Like Tapachula.
Yes.
That is exactly what Tapachula is. A sanctuary city.
Is a sanctuary city.
Yes.
Does that mean that the Guardia Nacional, the Ejército, they don't come into Tapachula? They stay on the outside?
To get migrants? No. Only if they get an order to do that.
I see.
But no, they don't do that.
Okay.
They work free. You
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah. What happens when, let's say, that Venezuelan lady, is there places that she can go to get food?
Of course.
Like a food shelter?
sleep.
Sleep?
To
Okay.
get food, of course.
Okay.
There are a lot of shelters.
Okay. So if someone gives her money, she's probably just saving that for a bus ticket or something. She's
Of
not
course.
probably spending that on food.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Because she can get food and a place to sleep at the shelter, and now she's just saving for the next thing, to try and move further north to get to the
They
U.S.
don't like to go to shelters. I don't know why.
Oh.
They don't like to stay at shelters. They always try to get money to stay in a hotel or
I
I
see.
don't know. I don't know why.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, that's curious. I wonder if the shelters here are not nice, and so
We should go to a shelter to see how the situation is.
can we?
See,
Yeah, I'd love to.
where is one?
We
need
can.
to ask where
We
is
can.
one.
Yeah, we can find them. Yeah, that
I
would
think
be,
one is near my house.
Okay.
I have heard there is one. And here in the center of Tapachula must be.
Okay.
We should ask to migrants. They will tell us
Okay.
where is the shelter.
Yeah, we can do that.
Refugio.
We can do that.
Refugio.
Refugio.
Refugio. ¿Dónde está el
Albergue?
refugio? Albergue también.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Albergue is the word.
Yeah. Albergue. Yeah. Huh.
See,
This is interesting.
so they live there, but they don't. They get bored.
I see.
They
Right.
don't like staying there. They want to be on the streets,
Right.
getting drugs
Things
and
happening.
alcohol and having a good time.
The young men.
Yeah, the young and almost everybody.
Okay.
Because kids, you saw a lot of kids.
Yes.
They bring them there.
Okay.
They are having alcohol, drugs
The
in
kids?
front of the kids. No, the kids, the
Okay.
grown-ups.
Okay. I see.
But
okay.
they do it in front of the kids.
in front
They
of their
don't care.
kids. Okay.
They,
What are the most common drugs here in Tapachula? Cocaine, meth, probably not fentanyl.
I don't know. I
In
have
the,
heard- I
in the
have heard
U.S.,
it.
in the U.S., it's almost all meth and fentanyl. Almost no other
They
drugs.
call it cristal, but I don't know
Meth.
what it is.
Meth.
Okay,
Meth.
cristal.
Yeah.
That is the most common.
Okay.
Marijuana.
Yeah. Okay.
Cocaine is a little more expensive, so they
Right.
don't have the money to
Yes.
pay for that.
I see. And no heroin or
No.
opium.
No, it's more expensive, right?
Yeah. Usually.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They don't have expensive drugs.
Interesting.
The cheap
okay.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad quality drugs.
Okay.
Not good quality, bad quality.
Yeah.
Shit drugs.
I see. And so the crystal probably comes from further north in Michoacan, in Jalisco, where it's manufactured. The drugs come in from, or the precursors, the things that get made into crystal is coming from China, from India, from other countries, and they get manufactured in Sinaloa, Michoacan, Oaxaca, and then I think that spreads from there to Veracruz, to Chiapas, Sonora, Baja California.
The whole country.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and
So
especially
the formula comes
the United
from
States.
China.
Yes, yes, especially meth, especially fentanyl. Fentanyl, huge amounts of fentanyl comes in from China. Not fentanyl, but the chemicals that get made into fentanyl.
Poor woman, 3 kids.
Yeah,
Three
that
kids, you know what is
Venezuelan
that?
lady. That's tough.
It's difficult.
And maybe no husband.
They didn't eat for 2 days. They are not getting a lot of food.
So So at the shelter, though, they could get food there, right? So do you think she's not going to the shelter?
Maybe she doesn't know that the shelter exists. I think she's new here.
Okay,
She's new, very new.
I see.
Maybe 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, okay.
She needs to understand the situation
If
to think what she's going to do.
If we run across her, I wouldn't mind talking to her a little bit more. That would be interesting.
Do you have more questions?
Yeah.
What would you ask her?
I can't speak good enough Spanish to ask her all of the questions that I want to ask.
I can translate.
Okay. Go.
You have a translator here.
Bueno.
What do you want to ask?
Well, so I guess I would be interested in knowing some of the things about her experience traveling to the Darien, different countries, through Panama, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, just how easy or difficult it was, how she travels.
Sometimes
is
if
it on
you
a
talk-
bus? Is it walking? Is it?
Sometimes if you talk to them, they show you videos.
Oh,
Terrible things.
yeah.
They have it on videos.
Okay.
Like a crocodile eating a Venezuelan guy.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay.
Or people dead on the forest. Completely black.
Yeah.
People turn to black when they die.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I know it's difficult what they go through. Some of the stories that I've read, interviews that I've watched, it's crazy.
I talked with some of them. I talked to some Cubans, and the stories are, oof, they always get money, you know? They take money away from them
Yeah.
everywhere they go.
Yeah, they get robbed.
Yeah, everywhere. Not only in Mexico, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the Cubans, do they fly into Mexico? Do they fly into Costa Rica? Where do they come? Colombia? And come north?
To come to Mexico, they need to cross all that countries.
So they can't fly, Cubans can't
No,
fly to
not
Mexico.
at all. If they fly, they would be rejected.
Ah,
No.
Okay.
Airports are very.
yes. Okay, so the Cubans, where do they fly to? Ecuador? Colombia?
They take bus.
Yes.
They go by car.
No, from Cuba to Colombia and then bus?
What I have
walk?
heard from Cubans is that they steal money from government at the stores they work at. The place they work at,
Yeah.
they steal money so they can come to Mexico. Or they sell a house or some things like that, or some family in the United States sends them money
Yes.
to go to Mexico, to come to
Okay.
Mexico.
And they say that life in Cuba is very difficult.
Of course.
Okay.
It's one of the poorest countries in the world.
Because of the kind of communist mismanagement and corruption and crime.
Yeah, they don't have food to eat.
I see.
They get one chicken, I think, a month
Wow.
for a family or for one people. I don't know. The situation is terrible over there.
Yeah, okay.
You can ask, if you ask, you need to ask them, you know, you need to hear the stories.
I do.
Because you're going to be very surprised.
Yeah.
Because they have so many different stories, but they all end up with one dream, to go to the United States.
Right. They think that in the United States,
They will be
everything will be
safe.
better.
They want to feel safe. They want to feel protected.
Yeah. Okay.
Walk on the street and
Yeah.
not be scared to walk in the street on the street.
Yeah.
That's what they
Yeah.
want to feel.
Now, they come to Mexico and they feel that.
They feel
Maybe.
that.
Maybe.
You have heard what she said.
That's true. She was kidnapped in
That is not
Mexico.
to say, right?
Right. I see.
Poor woman.
Well, let me ask you this. If I was to drive to Huixla or further, would I be in danger in my car?
I don't think so. No.
Just her, because she's a migrant. She's easy to take advantage of.
The thing with you is that you are a journalist.
Yes.
So that might put you in a place that you can be in danger. anytime.
Usually I wouldn't say that I'm a journalist, though, if someone stops me on the road. I would say I'm a tourist. I'm here to see Chiapas.
Of course.
Okay.
And what we say is that stay away from danger, and you are going to danger places. We
That's
stay
true.
away from that to be
That's
safe,
true. Yeah.
and you want to get close to those places.
That's where the story.
That's the difference. To get the story,
Right.
but you can be in trouble.
I see.
You
So
know?
I wonder if the gangs or cartels are putting up roadblocks to extort money. I hear it's happening in places like Zacatecas and otros lugares in central Mexico. There's a lot of roadblocks that are being put up so that they can make people pay to pass.
It has happened, yeah.
Here as well.
I've never heard of that here in
Okay.
Tapachula or
Cool.
Chiapas.
Good. Good.
When some cities in Chiapas, they have trouble.
Especially lately in northern Chiapas, near the border, because I've read that Jalisco is coming in and taking over some of Sinaloa's villages and trade routes and, killing people. But I've read a few news stories about it, but not many people cover what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know if that's real. I
Okay,
don't even know if that's real, but some people say that.
I see.
You need to read the stories on newspapers and things like that.
Right, and that's what I have
They
been
have more
doing.
credibility, the newspapers.
I see,
So you
okay.
can get the real scene, what is going on.
I see, okay.
But to me, I never search for that information.
Right. Okay. So it seems like there is a tendency among many Mexicans to not want to know what's happening when it comes to things like the cartel, immigration, drugs, this kind of thing. That all happens over here, and we have our life here. Is that right?
You don't want to know? It's not like you don't want to know because you hear the news every day. This happened in Ciudad Juarez, it happened in Mexico City. It's not that you don't want to know. It's just that you are senseless. You don't care anymore. You just live with what you have and you try to live a happy life, you know?
I see. Desensitized
Exactly.
to
Why do you want
the
to
violence.
stress your life?
I see. And so, in normal circumstances, you wouldn't be exposed to anything like that
No.
living here in Tapachula because it's peaceful.
Yeah.
And it might be happening, 300 people might have been kidnapped 10 miles out of town, but most people may not know about that because they don't ask questions, they're not talking to the migrants directly, and they just have their normal life here. Maybe it's easier to ignore if you don't know about it.
What can you do to change the situation?
Yeah.
Nothing. It's not your.
Even by voting for different people?
What would happen if another party would win? It's not the same.
You think it would be the same?
It's always the same.
So the set of people at the top, they may say they're Morena, PRI, PAN, whatever, but it's all really the same people?
Yeah.
Okay.
People go from party to party, the same people.
I see.
Yeah. They change from
Kind of
parties.
The corrupt,
Candidates are always the same people.
the corrupt elite. And so nothing changes.
You could say that.
I see.
But right now I think, all my friends, all my family, they live a safe life.
Right.
They don't get any trouble.
So on some level, Mexico is growing. It's becoming richer.
Because these
It's-
migrants, they are going to the places that are dangerous. They need to cross the places that are dangerous. So you are going to danger, and you know you are going over there.
Yeah,
So what is going to happen to you? Bad things.
I see.
If you stay away from that, stay in your city. Don't come to a dangerous place. If you stay in your city, nothing will happen to you.
don't try to cross
Exactly, but
from
they
Guatemala
don't
into
care.
Mexico
Yeah.
away from the crossing points.
They don't
try to
care.
cross the river. When you do that, you put yourselves in the hands of criminals.
Exactly, of course. You go to Ukraine now, you will get a bomb on your head.
Sure.
Why would you do that?
Sure. Well, as a journalist, I know why I would go.
It's terrible to be a journalist nowadays.
It is. It's tough. It's tough. And that's why so few people, I think, want to be journalists, because it's dangerous. When I was
The highest rate of death in a job is journalist.
Probably, especially in Mexico.
Especially.
Yeah. I know when I was in school last year doing master's degree for journalism, most of my classmates were women, and most of them wanted to go into things like reporting on fashion, reporting on music topics, going into maybe being a news anchor on television. Almost nobody wanted to be an investigative journalist like this.
Of course.
Especially freelance
Of course.
investigative journalism is the most dangerous.
It's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, yeah.
You are going to dangerous zones. I would avoid that if I was you.
It's exciting.
You think so?
I know so.
Really? Are you having a blast doing this?
There are elements that I really enjoy.
Oh my God.
For example, meeting you. This has been a lot of fun. If I was not an investigative journalist, I would not have come to Chiapas. I would not have met you, Cristian, and my life would be poorer because of it.
And what you told me that happened to you in Tamaulipas. Oh my God. I would change the career like this. The other day I was doing another thing.
I made bad decisions leading up to that.
That's the thing.
I did not have to be in that situation. And now I know, okay, there's certain things that I do really need to be careful with. And that was one of them. Now, the thing is that I had been in, hypothetically, much more dangerous places in the past. Even 2-3 weeks before that.
Where?
In Juarez, in Tijuana, in the mountains up near Tecate, very dangerous. No problems, nothing, no issues. And so, here I am in Nuevo Laredo thinking, oh yeah, I can do this very quick, get the drone launched, get my footage, and then get back out.
It was a forest?
Nuevo Laredo has lots of trees.
But you were on the street or in a forest? Where were
On
you?
the street.
On the street?
On the street, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in a very poor neighborhood. But it was, and I didn't see anyone. I had been driving for maybe 5 or 6 minutes, no people. And so I was thinking, oh, okay, this will be easy. Boom, 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 and I'm gone. They have their lookouts everywhere, the cartel. Yeah. And I found out the hard way, don't try to do stuff like that. So, yeah. There's other times in San Luis Rio Colorado, I was in a spot where the U.S. and the cartels will shoot at each other across the river.
You were near them?
Yeah, and I drove in, and a lookout from the other side of the river took off running. And I was like, oh, I gotta go. And so I got in my car and I left very quickly. But
my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Increíble.
So we're working our way up a bit of a rise to get up to where the railroad, I guess, is set to run in the future once they get it completely repaired. But this would be the kind of spot, it looks like, where migrants would start their journey northward from Tapachula. Now, Hurricane Stan in 2005 wiped out the railroad in this part of Mexico. And so you can't get the railroad here, obviously, anymore until they wind up rebuilding it. But it looks like this new railroad bridge has been installed to help move things forward so that this line can eventually run down to the coast. There's a port down there, the port of Tapachula. But this would be the type of spot where the migrants might wait, and you can see there might have even been migrants down here at the bottom of the hill. There's coconuts and stuff that have been partially eaten. But Cristian,
Sí.
tell us about, if the train was to come through here and slow down enough that the migrants could potentially jump on
Of
and
course.
then
Yeah, they
climb
would
to
do
the
it.
top?
They would do it. If they need to go to another city, they would
Right.
do it.
And so the train here basically goes out through Chiapas, through Oaxaca, eventually up to Mexico City. And then I think from what I've read is once the migrants get to Mexico City, they kind of decide what part of the border they want to cross, what trains to take if they wanted to go up towards Texas or Arizona or through California by going up through like Sonora or Baja California Norte. But yeah, this is interesting. I mean, this is the road that goes down to the port. And so the railroad line that used to exist in the past before it got wiped out by the Hurricane Stan in 2005 came down along here and then down to the port. So this has clearly been recently constructed and rebuilt. So I've got to assume that we've got eventually a new train line probably that's going to be running through
This
here.
is going to be a new rail.
Yeah, okay. And so maybe kind of the port of Tapachula becomes more important and more traffic. But I would think that certainly this is probably where the the migrants would come down to and then hop on the train. One thing that I've read is that by getting on the train, the migrants can avoid having to go through all of the migration checkpoints.
Yeah, of course, for sure. That's what they do. They
okay.
avoid those points.
And then also potentially they're able to avoid being maybe kidnapped on the road in buses by gangs or cartels or
And
whatever.
they go with some other migrants, so they go. They have company,
Yeah,
so they feel more safe when they
I see.
are a lot of people.
I see.
They never go alone.
Yeah,
They always go in groups.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go alone, but
it's
they go
too
in groups.
dangerous.
Yeah, for them, it's dangerous.
So there was a group of, I think, 1,000 or 1,500 migrants who left Chiapas, Tapachula specifically, maybe a week and a half ago. And they, from what I hear, they're in Oaxaca now and working their way north, but they decided to all leave Tapachula as a group and
That's
travel.
why they always do that.
Okay,
Always in a big group.
caravans.
Thousands of people,
I see.
1,500 people.
Yeah.
They do a group and they
Yeah.
travel to other cities
Okay. Just because of safety.
for safety net. Yeah.
Is it harder for the Mexican authorities to arrest that many people and then ship them south?
Yeah, because you can run when they are getting some other guy.
Yeah,
You can
okay.
run or things like that.
Okay.
You can hide easier.
Yes. Oh man. We've got a storm rolling in. You can see lightning and you can hear the thunder. The sky's looking very dark. Exciting. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, Cristian. This has been a pleasure hanging out with you today. And yeah, let's get out of here before it starts raining.
It's raining, yeah.